Samsung is laughing. Their new phones are selling crazy, and at the same time, their old flagship phones have dropped to the lowest prices ever. We all know that Apple has been losing its crown for quite some time now, but what we didn't expect was Samsung to take it so quickly. They didn't even break a sweat. It happened so quietly that many people didn't even notice how Apple actually lost its crown. The journey started back in June when Apple announced WWDC and invited everyone to the special event. The keynote started with Tim Cook thanking everyone for joining and said, "We've got some great stuff to share today." Right after this, the internet started mocking him because there was nothing really great about WWDC. At least not something that would be worth mentioning by Tim Cook himself, as they announced the new iOS 16 with features like being able to blur your home screen wallpaper and customize it according to your style. And then there was the new M2 chip, which was just an upgraded version of the already existing M1 chip. Basically, the only good thing about WWDC was the new feature called continuity. This feature will allow you to use your iPhone as a webcam, which is something that many creators, influencers, and YouTubers were asking for. Other than this, everything was very basic. There were no big revolutionary changes to make you upgrade your iPhone right away. Not to mention the leaks were pretty accurate, so there was nothing really surprising either. Many people even said that this might be Apple's weakest WWDC in years. And honestly, I agree to that. On the other hand, Samsung decided to spice things up. They sent out their own invite saying, "Get ready for Unpacked." Now, this alone wasn't enough to make people excited, because remember when it was rumored that Samsung will hold another Unpacked event? That event was later canceled due to some reason. So many people thought that Samsung will do the same thing again and not show us anything. Well, they were wrong. This time around, Samsung did a great job at keeping secrets at bay. They didn't show us anything before the event. Everything was a surprise. Even though some of the leaks were close to the actual product, but still, the final product was a surprise until we saw it live. The event started with a speech from DJ Ko, the CEO of Samsung. He talked about his experience during the pandemic. Then he showed us some of the improvements that Samsung had made in their displays and cameras. But as soon as he was done, we got to see the stars of the show, the new folding devices. The Z Flip 4 and the Z Fold 4. I got TA say Samsung nailed it with these products. Both the Z Flip and the Z Fold look amazing, and they come with huge upgrades. The new hinge is a big improvement. We finally get water resistance and dust resistance, and the cameras are improved as well. Now, if you want to learn more about these products, you can watch my review video. But what I'm trying to say is that Samsung had a proper upgrade to their existing products. They weren't playing it safe like Apple. They took risks and introduced us some great new products. This was the beginning of the downfall of Apple. You see, when Apple doesn't bring anything groundbreaking, they lose to Android flagships. So let's face it, most people don't care about upgrading unless there's a big reason to do so. This isn't bad for Apple. It happens to every company. But when Samsung comes out with a great upgrade, this is when people consider switching to Android. After the Unpacked event, we saw some reports claiming that the sales of the Z Flip 3 and the Z Fold 3 have beaten the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 13 Pro. Now, yes, this is South Korea, so it's not a global report. But still, it's a very important market for Samsung and Apple, and the fact that the Z Flip 3 and the Z Fold 3 beat out the iPhone 13 lineup is insane. We haven't seen any sales numbers for the Z Flip 4 and the Z Fold 4 yet, but since they are getting a lot of love, I'm sure that they will beat out the iPhone 14. But wait, there's more. Samsung didn't stop here. They also launched the new Galaxy Watch 5 and the Watch 5 Pro. Now, Apple knows that they can't compete with Google when it comes to wearables because Google's ecosystem is just too strong. A lot of people have both Android phones and an Apple Watch. So naturally, when they go to buy a new smartwatch, they choose Google's Wear OS over Apple's WatchOS. Now, fast forward to August, and we have our first look at the global smartphone sales, and guess who is leading the game? It's Samsung. According to Counterpoint's research, Samsung is the world's biggest smartphone brand with a 22% market share. While Apple comes second with a 17% market share, this means that Samsung is 5% ahead of Apple. But that's not it. Another report from First Post shows that Samsung is now the world's #1 premium smartphone brand. They have beaten Apple in the premium segment as well, which is absolutely insane. Apple used to dominate the high-end smartphone segment. In fact, just last year, Apple sold twice as many premium smartphones than Samsung. But the tables have turned. Now Samsung is ahead. The report says that Samsung has taken a 47% share in the premium smartphone market in India, whereas Apple has taken a 38% share. This means that 1 out of 2 premium smartphones that are being sold is a Samsung phone. Also, Samsung's foldable phones have beaten Apple's iPhones, say. This is absolutely mind-blowing. Sales of the Z Flip 3 and the Z Fold 3 combined have exceeded the iPhone 6s sales. This is the perfect example of how Samsung took the risk and came out with a great product, and as a result, they are winning. On the other hand, Apple played it safe and didn't bring anything that would be worth people's money. Apple is still the most valuable brand in the world, but it seems like they are slowly losing their crown. If they keep playing it safe and not bringing any big changes, they will eventually lose it to Samsung. Just think about this. When was the last time you saw a proper upgrade on the iPhones? Sure, they did improve the camera sensor and add the LiDAR, but other than that, it's all been software. From the notch to the dynamic island, it's all software. And while software is important, it's not something that will make people upgrade. Remember the iPhone Xs? Apple kept the same design and didn't bring any major upgrades. This led to the iPhone XR being the best-selling iPhone in 2019, and now we have the iPhone 13 mini, which is also the best-selling iPhone. People aren't buying the expensive models. They are buying the most affordable iPhones. Some people will say that Apple's loyal customers always wait for the next big thing, and they will always buy the new iPhone regardless of the price. Well, yes, this is true. But let's not forget that Apple's main focus is to sell as many products as possible. It's a business. Of course, they want to make as much money as they can. In 2021, Apple brought the highest revenue in their history. They sold more products than ever before. So clearly, Apple wants more than just loyal customers. They want to expand and reach new heights. Keeping the same design for multiple years won't help them do that. Don't get me wrong, Apple will always be the most valuable tech brand in the world. But when it comes to global sales, I think Samsung is doing better. They're taking risks, bringing new products, competing with themselves and constantly improving. As a result, they are winning. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. With that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.